All right. First of all, welcome everyone. This is fantastic. This is the very first meet and greet that we are hosting to basically say hello, introduce ourselves, and just so you know who you partnered with, a little bit about their backgrounds, our backgrounds, and what we see here with OLIABO, and a little bit of a vision going forward. This isn't an opportunity. We're not going to be going over products. This is relationships tonight. We're going to just get to know the people that you are partnered with. And seeing so many of you on here live, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of whatever time zone you're on to be here. It will be recorded, obviously, so we'll be able to utilize this to share as more and more people come on board over the coming days, weeks, and months. And this way we can get a nice snapshot of who you are partnered with. So I'm super excited to get this started. I'm Donna Farrell, and I'm calling or zooming in here from just a little south of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I was born and raised here in Canada, started out in where it's probably snowing today in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And then my father got transferred out here to we used to call it the West Coast, but once I got out here, it's the wet coast. It's, if you're familiar, any of you from the United States, it's like Seattle. So it rains more than it does anything else. So, but it's also beautiful. And I've lived out here. I have two beautiful daughters that are now grown, and I have a 2.5-year-old grandson. So I'm a fairly new grandma, and I actually share a house here right now with my father, who's 88. So I love working from home because I have the flexibility to be there for all the ages of my family, and have that flexibility to be able to work when I can and when I want, and have that family time and flexibility as well. So I think I started networking about the same time I started talking. And when I think back, if I had a toy that I really liked, or I saw something that was just really special, I always wanted to tell other people about what I had found or what I liked. And sometimes they would go get the same doll. Sometimes they would, go to get the same thing that I was talking about. And as I got older, I loved causes. Like if we were going door to door with some cookies, and it was going to raise money for something really, really important, I would get all in behind it. So in my career, I've worked for the federal government. I've held top corporate jobs. I've actually had my own retail store and a home party plan business, that's another whole day to talk about that crazy wild journey of mine. But I even spent a year when I was at the government. They lent me out this is years ago, to the United Way. And for those of you that don't know me or just meeting me now, if I were to tell you I was the shyest person ever, people laugh, go, no way. But I was happy and bubbly. But if you made me go in front of a room to stand up and talk, there was no way, no way. So when I had a chance to go work with the United Way, I was speaking in front of top banks and top organizations, and I was charitable selling. So I was selling from my heart to make folks put money off their payroll to go to these charities. So I had a real taste of not only learning to public speak, but also to create a need and have someone desire to want to support. So the whole networking thing just came naturally to me. And one day when I got introduced to this industry, and I realized, wow, if I find something that I'm passionate about and I like for myself and I share naturally with others, you're going to pay me for it? I'm all in. So I started part-time years and years and years ago, over 3 decades. And about the year 2000, I fired my last corporate boss, and I have been full-time self-employed in some sort of networking ever since. The lifestyle has been fantastic. Spent most of that time as a single parent, and my children would not know that I was a single parent because we had a beautiful home, car, they had all the ballet lessons, we had the trips, they had mom home in the morning, mom home after school, and mom pretty much always around, and also a very positive upbringing because I was always on the phone inspiring others. So my daughters grew up naturally bringing out the best in people. And I look at them now in their late 20s and 30s, and they've just grown into the most beautiful human beings. And so I have worked with these owners, Gordon and Joe Morton, before. When I was corporate with a vitamin company, they were also corporate down in the States, and we kind of liaison back and forth. So I got to know them when they were back in their 20s, young executives. So I followed their career, and they started a little company called Zango, which a lot of you were part of. Some of you heard about the great success. You'll be hearing from Ray later. He calls it the poster child of the industry. For about a decade, we broke a lot of records, had a lot of fun. People did extremely well financially. And I got to ride a good portion of that early wave, and it changed my life and my family's life, not only financially, but my personal growth and my ability to realize that I can step in and do whatever I wanted and be successful if I choose. What I love about this industry is everybody shares, everybody supports each other, and we all are one team. In corporate world, you don't share, you don't give away everything because someone's going to steal your promotion. Here we all work collectively. It's absolutely beautiful, especially in our world today. And we're creating that with this team. When I got the call from actually Hernan, put me on, just phoned me, set a time, and put me on with Ray, and we just talked, and he mentioned Gordon Morton was starting something, and because of my relationship with Hernan, I met Hernan and Robin in 2005 in Phuket, Thailand. We were on a top trip together, and we were just hanging out with all the leaders, and we just connected and saw each other at other events over the years, and we've always stayed in touch. And here's 20 years later, Hernan sends me a message, can we talk today? I know I'm going to bring a friend on, and he just wants to say hi because he knows you. I'm like, okay. And then some of you heard my story on the webinar a couple of weeks ago on the OLIABO webinar, so I won't repeat that. But the rest is history. They painted the story, the vision, why we're doing this, why it's so important and needed on all levels for people, from health, from just the community again, the ability to get together with like-minded positive people in a very negative world, and the whole culture being created here. It was just like a dream come true. I would say it checked off all my boxes and a bunch of boxes I didn't even know I had because there's so much that's brilliant here. So I'm super excited to be part of this early pioneer team. We're all the early pioneer team, by the way, but I'm here and I'm all in. This is going to be a fabulous experience, responsibility, journey. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to share ideas and collaborate together. And that's why it was so important to put this on, because we are one team and every single person matters. So I just thank you for all being here, and just whatever it is that you desire, whatever goal, everybody's welcome at all levels. There's no high, it's just everyone belongs, and it's one big, I guess they say in Italy or in Italian, familia, or one big familia. So I'm going to pass it over now to, I can't even say the name. Where is it here? Pocatello, Idaho. And I'm going to pass the mic over now to Robin. And we're going to hear a few words from you, Robin. You're on mute.
We're from Pocatello. We've been here in Idaho for 7 years. We're originally from California, and that's where I met Hernan. We've been married for 38 years. We've got one son, and he is just recently married a really nice girl, and she's got 2 children. So now we're grandparents. We're excited about that. Networking, Hernan's been doing networking the whole time that I have known him. And he's just one of those people that he likes to talk to people. And I am always the one in the back. I'm in the back of the room, but my history is I was a court manager for a big court in California, the LA County, and I ran the place. So that's my specialty, is I run our office. So he likes to talk to people, and I'm behind the scenes just pushing papers around. It's what I do best.
She's my producer, my director. She's my everything. So, yeah.
But I'll tell you, we did meet Donna in Thailand, and I'll tell you, if you shoot for the trips, I'm telling you, it will be the best thing that you could ever do, because we rode elephants. It was amazing. We shot for the trips, and you just make it happen and you go. And I know that their first trip is going to be to Italy, and that is, we're shooting for the trip to go to Italy.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yep. We went to Hawaii. How
We've
many
been,
times did we go
yeah,
to
we went
Hawaii?
to Hawaii with the company. I don't know. It is family. You just are a big family, and it's the most amazing thing, honestly, that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, we brought grandma, we brought my son. He was just tiny, and we had a ball. And we got to meet incredible people like Donna. It was amazing. And we miss it a lot. We've been scrambling for many years trying to duplicate that culture, and just everything we touched, nothing really felt the same. It wasn't quite the same. And I know Joe and Gordon are gonna, they're gonna do it again. So we're excited.
Yep.
Yep. So, are you
I'm done.
good? Okay. So, so, I could tell you some stories. There's a lot of great stories, but we've been doing this for a long time, and everything changed for me. We we're really looking for, what is it? What makes the difference between somebody who's successful in this industry and somebody who just kind of is always working hard at it, but never really seems to get anywhere? And I think for me, it was when I realized that my current circumstances and conditions were created by me, not by anything outside of myself, not by our situation or by somebody else or by the company, that I had created it. And so when I took personal responsibility for our circumstances and conditions and realized, hey, wait, I created this. If I created this, what can I really create if I focused on what I really wanted? And then that's when things changed. That's when I went from sitting in the back of the room to standing in front of the room telling the story. So I was always having somebody else tell the story for me. And then I changed and I started telling the story. And then people started to follow me. And then we started building. And I would start all my meetings with this. I would say, look, we're going to go to the top. And I'm going to tell the story, and I'm going to tell it often. I'll tell it as often as you want me to tell it. And you just put people in front of me, let me tell the story, and we're all going to go to the top together. Okay? It's not gonna happen without you. You have to be willing to come with us. That's the only way it's going to happen. And so we're here for you guys. Anything you need, three-way, Zooms, if you have questions, you want to bounce things off, you want to brainstorm, reach out. We're here for you.
Oh, she's muted.
Hey, so Hernan, I'm going to give you the honor of introducing Ray, because you can tell the story how Ray approached you and then go from there.
Okay, should I do a little video introduction for Ray?
Do you have one?
Yeah, let me do a little video introduction.
Oh no.
For...
Oh no. I hate these surprises, but go ahead.
I was going to say, this is a surprise to me too, Ray. This wasn't on the script. But we trust Hernan, don't we? Oh,
Yes,
this
we
one,
do.
yes.
Yes, we do.
This one. Okay, I love this one. It just came out today.
C'è la luna, mezza mare, mamma mia, mi maradare. Figli mia, cutterare, mamma mia, pensaccia tu. Sitte d'ogna pisciaolo, ite va, ite va, se mi mare bene.
That was clever.
So those are the three coughs you get when you take a high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, you will cough 3 times. That's a great demonstration. Well, I'm super excited to be able to work with Ray, closely with Ray. We were down deep in his organization in another company, and Robin and I did really well with that company, and Ray had built a very, very strong team there, and we had a lot of support. We reached up, we reached up to the upline and pulled on their trousers and asked for help, and we got it, and it was exciting. But Ray, Ray's done very well in the industry. He's been doing this for a long, very, very long time. He understands the industry in a very easy to understand business way. I love getting Ray on three ways. If I have somebody who's a professional and been in the industry for a long time, I'll always introduce them to Ray and know that when Ray's done talking to them, they're going to want to be a part of what we're doing. So I really appreciate you, Ray, for that.
Thank,
So yeah, so everybody, here's Ray Heron.
thank you, Hernan and Robin. I admire you both greatly. I should tell the story. And by the way, Donna, thank you for putting this together. Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you. Looks like there's about, well, I can't see real well. I'm doing this on my iPhone here tonight. About 36 people. I think that's fantastic. So this is the beginning of 36 will become 100, become 1,000, become 10,000, become 100,000. This industry works just that way. If you got the right group and, you got the right people together, you got the right company at the right time, it's amazing what can happen to all of you. And I'm excited for what can happen to you. Hernan, as I recall, you and I, our first conversation, I think we were analyzing another company. You were asking my opinion of a company. And I said, Hernan, I can't tell you anything about what's about to take place unless I put you under a non-disclosure agreement. You too, Donna, you'll remember that as well. And Hernan and Robin are about 3.5, 4 hours from the corporate office, thereabouts. And this is sometimes there's a real hint. If you're looking for what does it take to be successful, it's decisive action. And Hernan was kind of excited, of course, because we had all been with Zango, did extremely well financially, and had the time of our life. And I said, Hernan, why don't you just get in the car and drive down to the company the next morning, the very next morning? And I got to believe, Hernan, you're the very first person that I talked to. I got to believe that. And he asked Robin, and Robin said, sure, why not? He had a favorite hamburger place he wanted to go to. That might have been the reason in Salt Lake City. But they took the effort and the commitment to drive down to the company and spend some time with these guys that we love a lot. And we don't want to bore you with how much we care about these people, but you'll feel the same way after you spend some time with them. And so it kind of got started right there. And I'm forever grateful that you guys were committed enough to jump in the car and go down there and spend some time with them. They did all the selling. I didn't have to do very much. And there's another real clue. Sometimes, just let somebody else help you, and that's what we need sometimes. And you'll have a lot of help in this organization because we care deeply about you being successful. We'll always be here to help you do what we can. If you don't mind, I'll just share a little bit of my story. I'm kind of like Jim Rohn. He said he enjoyed telling his own story, and I kind of enjoy telling mine. If you kind of know a little bit about my background, I was born a long time ago. I'll say that, in a little dusty town in southwest Oklahoma. Born in a house with a dirt floor. There were 6 of us kids. My mom and dad were struggling always, so we were beyond poor. We were in pretty bad shape growing up. And because of all the moments in my life, because of the lack of money, I left home and school in the 10th grade. And I spent about a third of my life, just kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. And financially, it seemed like always struggling, unable to break this poverty that I was born into. And I got fortunate, I guess. Well, really fortunate. A friend of mine often says, is it odd or was it God? I think in my particular case, it was God for sure. I got invited to a network marketing meeting in Dallas, Texas 40 years ago. didn't know anything about the industry, determined that I probably wasn't going to get involved. I had bought a product. Many of you in Canada may remember a company there out of Montreal called Mass Hall Botanical. That was the company, my very first exposure to network marketing. It had a product that looked like motor oil and tasted worse. It was a potassium mineral supplement. I'd had some pretty good energy results on the product, had shared it with my mother. I just bought a couple of bottles from a guy. And you know, in this industry, sometimes people will just call you and try to get you out to an opportunity meeting. And I didn't want to be the opportunity they were looking for. But, you know, to get the guy off of my back, I decided to go. But to add a little insurance, I took a friend of mine with me to this meeting. And Donna, I don't know how much time I have. If I'm rambling on too long, you can let me know. And so I went to the meeting, took the friend with me, and to my surprise, I met a lot of very interesting people at that meeting, some people that wanted a little bit more out of life than most people that I was hanging around with. And some of them were doing pretty well financially. And I had some results on the product. And I watched what they had, a VHS videotape. It was a 15-minute videotape. Some of you in this audience may have even seen that. It was an Academy Award production. It was that good, 15 minutes long. And a guy named Dr. Carl Urak told his story about how this product came about, and it was very believable. And so I got excited at this, my very first network marketing meeting, and I asked my friend who had some money, you could become an instant supervisor with that company if you bought or if your credit card would handle $3,000 worth of product. So I asked my friend if I could borrow $3,000 and become an immediate supervisor in my brand new networking venture. He looked at me and he said, "Are you nuts? Do you want to do this?" And I go, "Well, yeah, I think I can do it. I kind of see how they've done this. You know, I think I could do it." I was pretty desperate financially at that time in my life, but he did loan me the money. I said, "I promise I'll sell the product quickly." There was a number of cases. I often tell this story. I lived in a little town called Pilot Point, Texas. And when I drove home, I got home about 11:30 that night. And I had so much product in the trunk of my car that there was so much weight back there. The headlights were shining up in the trees in the front yard. That's how much product I had bought or borrowed to buy. And I went into the house. My wife was still up, and I told her I'd found something that was going to change our lot in life. And I'll never forget when she opened the first bottle, it was under pressure, and this black liquid came out and ran down her arm. She took a taste of it, and she thought I really had lost my mind. And maybe I had. But looking back, no, I didn't. It was a red letter day in my life. And fortunately, a God thing happened for me like right away. I got introduced. I had a friend of mine that was marketing seminars for Mr. Jim Rohn, famous guy. And he introduced me to Mr. Jim Rohn, and he became my personal mentor and taught me things that my parents or anybody else couldn't teach me. I don't blame anybody. People can't teach you something they don't know themselves. And he said, I'll never forget what he told me. And I teach this to everybody, people that's heard this, they're probably sick of hearing it, but it's the magic formula that made the difference in my life. It took me from poverty to fortune pretty quickly. He said, "Ray, if you find the right network marketing opportunity at the right time and build your business literally as if your life was hanging in the balance, it could set you up financially for the rest of your life." I didn't know any better. I was, like I told you, I was uneducated. I was green. But, you know, he was very impressive. Mr. Jim Rohn was very impressive. And so I began to just put into action what he said. 90 days, like my life depended on it. And I can tell you, I worked extremely hard my first 90 days. And then I had the good fortune almost right away after meeting Jim Rohn. I met a man by the name of Bob Proctor. Those of you in Canada will know exactly who I'm talking about. Bob Proctor was in a different way. Him and Jim Rohn were totally opposites, but they were both, I would just call them titans of the self-development industry. I mean, absolute titans. And I'll never forget, Bob Proctor taught me and the rest of the world. He said, "You know, money don't have ears," but he said, "If you call it, it will come." And I thought, well, that's a strange thing. And, he believed in, your subconscious kind of drives you, determines what you do in life. And so if you plant the right things in here, you'll do the right things out here to make things happen, to manifest what you want. And he taught me and many others, find out what you want, write it down on a small card, and read it every day. Well, I wrote on a card that I would be earning. This is a lofty goal for somebody that's, 40 years ago, don't know anything about the industry. I wrote on this card that I'd be earning $5,000 a month in my third month in my brand new business venture in network marketing. And so that's a pretty lofty goal for sure. And some of you probably weren't even alive 40 years ago, but I promise you $5,000 a month 40 years ago was pretty good income. And so let me tell you where I was at that time. Just because you're broke and, don't mean you can't fall in love and have babies. Well, I fell in love and we had babies. Cheryl and I have been married 43 years plus, and we had 3 children, just one right after another. And our daughter was on the way. I was way behind in all my bills, couldn't pay the house payments on time, couldn't pay the car payments on time. Utilities often would get shut off and I'd have to go pay an additional deposit to get them put back on. So I didn't have to pretend that my life was hanging in the balance. It was hanging in the balance. So I saw this as my opportunity to change the life of my children. They were small. They didn't know we were poor. And I wanted desperately to find something that my children didn't have to repeat the life that I had growing up. And boy, it delivered it in spades to me. My third month in my brand new venture there, I'll never forget it. That's when they mail checks to you. They don't, today they direct deposit them. They mail them to you. My third month's royalty override check was $5,310 and some change. Now, I stared at that check what seemed like for hours. I'm sure it was minutes, but I mean, all I could do is just, tears welling up. I'm thanking God for this wonderful thing that's happening in my life. And I realized Jim Rohn knew exactly what he was talking about. A lot of people don't realize that Jim Rohn, he really was at heart a true network marketer. And most people don't know that he was the third largest income earner in the Herbalife Corporation, which would probably make, millions of dollars a year. And he was the trainer for the company. And so I guess they just kind of kept it a little quiet that he actually was a network marketer and probably one of the best in the entire world. So it changed my life drastically. And folks, for the next, 32 years of my 40 years of being full time in this industry, for 32 years, I had the kind of success that people wrote stories about. I'm a humble guy, believe me. You don't do this by yourself. You do it with good people like those of you on this Zoom here tonight. And I've had the good fortune in the Zango Corporation of having over 2 million distributors in my organization. That's crazy. I know. I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but that's what can happen when you have a great company at the right time with the right products. You got a duplication model taking place. Everybody does the same thing. It's magic what can happen to you. So it changed my life drastically. 32 of the 40 years knocked it completely out of the park, made millions and millions, more money than a pool boy from Oklahoma could ever have possibly imagined. Changed our lives, like you wouldn't believe. Because of my good fortune, I live in 4 different places in the world. And but the last 8 years have not been like the first 32 years. The last 8 years, I've had what you would call modest success, but nothing compared to what had happened to me for my first 32 years. I began to analyze the industry and look around. It's not that there isn't some good companies. I think there's a few of them. I don't think there's many in this industry. There's a few, but they're mature companies. Some of them been around as long as I've been working in this industry. So I think that opportunity's long gone. And so I just really couldn't find anything that I love working with people, and it's what fulfills me on this earth is helping people develop and seeing what's possible. Human beings are capable of the most incredible things, but most of them are just like me 40 years ago. They just don't know it, and they need somebody. It could be Hernan, it could be Donna, it could be Robin, it could be one of you. It's amazing how people's lives can change when they realize they're capable if they just found the right opportunity. And I think a lot of people don't succeed in this industry because they have chosen the wrong company, and they don't pay them properly, don't respect them properly, but they make just enough to stay in there. So I wasn't looking for that. So I'd made a decision that was not making me very happy, but had come to the conclusion that after 8 years of not finding anything I really wanted to do, I decided I was going to retire. And it was sad for me because it's what I love the most, doing this. And I just couldn't find anything else, so that's what I was going to do. I was going to downsize my life, probably get rid of a couple of properties, move to back to Oklahoma in a golf course community where I have a place, and try to work on my golf game. But I'm not a young guy. I probably don't have enough time left to help my golf game. So what I had planned for my future wasn't very fulfilling to me. Left a sadness in my heart, to tell you the truth. And then, as Jim Rohn would say, I got the call. I get a phone call about March of this year from Gordon Morton. I love Gordon, his brother Joe. I know the entire family. I've known them for over 30 years. Gordon and I have been in business together even before the Zango Corporation. So he's a good friend of mine. And it's not like we talked every week, but a few times a year in the last 8 years we talk. And so we've always been pretty close. He calls me up and he tells me about OLIABO and how he spent the last 15 years of his life in the summers, him and his family on an olive farm in Tuscany in Italy. Learned all about the olives and the health benefits, and he spent a lot of time in laboratories over there looking into things. And he really had me at hello. I could feel a spring coming back in my step just from that phone call. And he asked me, which I still find rather fascinating today. He asked me to be his master distributor for this company. And it was a real honor for me. And I told him I'd let him know in a few days. And I thought about it. And I decided to accept the challenge. I know what he's going to do. I mean, it's the first time in my 40-year career, with all that success behind me, it's the first time that I know the outcome of this venture, this enterprise, before we ever even hit the switch, which we're going to do on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So the future is so bright here for all of us. And if you're looking for opportunity, I think you are. You wouldn't spend your evening here with us. You've made a good choice. You won't regret this one. It's got everything that you look for. In this industry, it's always three things. It's the company, it's the product, and it's the compensation plan. And when you compare these three to anything out there today, nothing even comes close. And just take it from an old guy that's been doing this a long time, almost every day of my life. I've looked at so many opportunities, looked at so many compensation plans, experienced most of them. This one, it just don't get any better. And you only get one time in life, to be first. We can all be first here. We're just getting started. I know that I can see this one's going to have millions of people in it, and a fair share of them will be in this group right here. So if you're the kind of person that's really looking for opportunity, you're willing to really go for it, I don't think it'd be the best choice you could ever make. I love this company. I love these products. This compensation plan is the best that I've ever seen. I love the convenience of this. A good friend of mine in Hernan's, and probably Donna, you as well, Bob Schmidt, he's in heaven today, taught everybody a lot of things. He asked me one time what I thought was the number one product in the world, and I couldn't answer him. I said, Bob, I don't know. He said, it's convenience. Convenience. Don't ever forget it. Convenience is the number one product in the world. Well, you know what? I think Amazon has proved that, right? Big time. Convenience is the number one product in the world. As I look at the OLIABO products, they are so conveniently packaged in this beautiful little presentation tin. Most of you probably have seen that. I think it's gorgeous. And inside there are 30 pillow packs of the best chance at probably the best nutrition that we could possibly put in our body. You just start your day off, you take a pillow pack out of this beautiful little presentation tin, and you're good to go. And if you look at all the science around it, it really good for your entire cardiovascular system, your GI tract, and your brain. My brain could use a little help. I don't know about any of you, but my brain could. So it's very conveniently packed. I think the world is really going to love this product line. They're, you're going to get great results. I know these guys. I mean, they don't just look at a little bit of science, throw a product together and put it out there and hope that it works. They know that it's going to work. And I know it's going to work too. I'm really excited to be here, Donna. I'm from Oklahoma. I talk slow and talk too long, I'm sure, but I'm honored to be on here. Thank you for inviting me.
Ray, that was absolutely fantastic. I could listen to you for hours and hours and hours. And, having been trained as well, Bob Proctor's of the world, the Jim Rohns, and I actually did get to work very closely with the late Bob Schmidt. He actually had me as a guest speaker on several of his Monday nights, and I was flown into the Zengo Corporation to film in a training video, and it was literally the last video that he filmed in, and I could just sit and listen to him for hours. And it's just, it's no wonder that you've had the success you've had, Ray, because it's all about duplication. We follow the mentors, we follow the coaches, we do what other people do for success. And that's what we're creating here. I'm learning more from Hernan and Ray in the short few weeks that I've been here than anything. We're always learning, we're always growing. And then we share what we're learning and what's working. And thank you so much for your time tonight. I can't wait to actually see you in person again. And hopefully before Italy, but we'll definitely be doing that one. And Robin,
can I just say, can I interrupt
sure.
you for just a second? Somebody in the chat here wanted me to share. Just one sec. That was Colleen wanted me to share my mini experience on the Prima product. So I'll do that real quick. Is that okay, Donna?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Before I forget, I have a place up in northern Michigan, a little town called Sutton's Bay, and got a beautiful homestead way up high really on a mountain, to be honest with you. And I got a great big deck that runs the entire front of the house, two big decks in the back, and stairs going down, and a gazebo area, and more stairs going down to a semicircle drive down at the bottom of the hill, or the mountain, I call it. And it's all wood, all exterior wood, and I'm kind of different. I'm just kind of a perfectionist about some things, and I've had people in the past actually stain this wooden deck for me, and never really happy with the results. So I actually do it, and I do it every other year, and I do it on my hands and knees. I hand brush all of that wood. It takes me an entire week of working about 12 hours a day. So this particular year, I only had 1 week of the Prima product. This was my testimony about how I felt. I'm up and down on my hands and knees, hand brushing all these wooden decks and stairs and the like. And I had the flexibility, Donna and Colleen, like I did when I was in my 20s. I mean, like I said, I'm not a young guy, so getting up and down, I mean, it could make your joints a little bit stiff and you could be sore. I had great energy, and I had my earbuds in doing three-way calls about OLIABO and just staining away. So I did all of that, and for that week, I really could feel the big difference in my life. And I don't sleep real well. It's kind of been a challenge of mine most of my life, and I sleep maybe 4.5 hours a night generally, and I slept 7.5 hours that entire week that I was on that product. So I don't know what it was doing, but it felt like I had WD-40 on the inside. I slept like a baby, felt real good. So if that's an indication of what we have our hands on, look out, world. Okay, thanks.
Fantastic. Can't wait to get on these products and start sharing the stories. Anything, Hernan, Robin, that you would like to mention? And then we can end with a little video and open it up for Q&A.
I think over time, as we work with one another, your team, as I dig in and help them build and hit the ranks, I think they're going to learn a lot more about us, and and I'll be able to share some of my own personal experiences. But I could go on a long time Donna. So I thought maybe just a brief introduction would be good, but I'm here for you guys, whatever you need. Okay.
Let me tell you, folks, let me tell you, he means it. He means it. Hernan's one of the hardest working people that I've ever worked with in my entire 40 years. He's also very techie. He gets it, and trying to teach me a little bit of AI. He's probably not going to be successful, but he's trying. I encourage everybody, Donna, this whole group. I mean, let's try to put a schedule together. Let's do one of these once a week, and everybody invite as many people as you can. And we've got the recipe for success here. Those of you already involved here and those looking, let me encourage you, if you don't already, get 3 people. Believe it or not, I think you can, if you started in the morning, I think you could have 3 before we have our call tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. We're going to get this thing started properly. And just to share with you what we did back in the Zango days, it's how we grew the thing so fast, is that everybody sponsored 3 people, and we got started right away with, at that time, was a 2-case auto ship of the Zango juice. It was $100 a case. Everybody got started with 2 because there was a reason for that. You could earn more in the compensation plan and be paid deeper. So we had everybody get their 3. Everybody got on a 2-case of Zango. Well, here, everybody gets their 3. Get on 2 packs of Prima. You'll probably need one. You've got a significant other. And we just simply duplicate that. You know, Bob Smith also taught us this. He says, if you got the recipe for a dozen cookies, you got the recipe for 1,000 dozen cookies. So that's our recipe for success. If we all do just exactly that, nobody has to guess what we do in this group. We're on a minimum subscription of 2 Primas per month, and we just roll. And that's, if we duplicate that, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, that's just exactly how you can end up one day with 2 million people in your group. It's going to be phenomenal. Now, I'm not promising anything to anybody. It takes a little bit of work, but it's fun. It's really fun when you embrace something that's got the potential that OLIABO has. And I promise you, when you do more in your life, it does something for you. It does something for your soul, I think. The more productive you are, you just feel better about yourself. There's a sense of accomplishment that you made the calls that you intended to. So if we don't get caught doing less than we can do, we'll be wildly successful at OLIABO.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Ray. Thank you so, so much. And thanks to all of you. We're going to close just with, I watch this every day. I watched this. This was the first video that Hernan and Ray sent me when I signed the non-disclosure agreement. It's 1 minute and 43 seconds. I watch it every morning and I watch it every night, and I could probably almost repeat it word for word. Every time I watch it, it sinks in a little bit more. So we're going to end this fishing portion with this right now.
Sometimes it's the simplest ideas that make the biggest difference. A connection to nature, a quiet faith in the greater good, a home grounded in simplicity. It's the quintessential Italian belief that health, happiness, and food naturally intertwine. The belief that these ingredients should be blended with love and care. Now combine this with something just as essential, a belief that every person, regardless of background, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, and deserves the chance to live up to their fullest potential. Now take this worldview and marry it with a truly unique idea at the right time. Well, that'll make people stop and pay attention. A truly unique idea has the power to change everything. It stands apart. It challenges the ordinary. And in its simplicity, it can move the world forward. That simple formula, love, health, respect, and a singular, simple, extraordinary idea has the power to change lives in our community, in our country, and around the world. Life is short. Timing is everything. And this fall, everything begins.